Sega was a top runner in the gaming industry. Yet, in just a few years, it was stripped of its leading role. Why did a company that once led the industry make so many fatal miscalculations? In the 1990s, Sega operated a 2 trillion yen business in the global gaming market. However, that glory would soon be lost due to a series of strategic failures. In fact, these failures were rooted in structural causes, repeatedly observed in modern business. What were the decisions that led this company to ruin? In this video, we will explain why Sega's success became the seeds of its failure, who overlooked what, and what lessons it holds for modern business. Now, let us delve into the full scope of Sega's collapse, as it lost the console war. In the main feature, we will also explore internal conflicts and the chaos within its development teams. In the 1980s, Sega reigned as the king of arcade games, sweeping the world with hits like Hang-On and Outrun. Its name was known to all. Then, in 1988, Sega launched its home console, the Mega Drive. In North America, marketed as the Genesis, it fiercely pursued Nintendo, rapidly enhancing its presence. In 1991, the Blue Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, was born, captivating the world. The supersonic speed symbolized Sega's triumphant advance. Sonic sold over 15 million copies worldwide, becoming a popular character on par with Mickey Mouse. Sega was expected to stand alongside Nintendo as the future of the gaming industry. The success was no mere coincidence. Sega constantly pursued innovation, continuously offering new value to the market. Sega established the arcade experience genre, providing gamers with unprecedented sensations. The strength lay in always staying one step ahead. The gaming market at the time was undergoing explosive growth, and Sega was radiating a brilliant light at its very center. However, within this golden age, tiny cracks, unnoticed by anyone, had begun to appear. They were omens of the collapse to come. Sega's secret to success lay in a strategy distinct from Nintendo's. It emphasized the North American market and aggressively developed content for adult audiences. The provocative marketing campaign, Sega Does What Nintendo, captured the hearts of younger demographics and rapidly expanded its market share. The introduction of innovative peripherals like the Mega CD and Super 32X was also an attempt to showcase technical superiority. Sega always aimed to be a step ahead of its competitors. At the time, Sega also enjoyed strong support from game developers. A culture that allowed for free thinking gave birth to numerous masterpieces. This aggressive, offensive stance captivated game fans of the era, and for a time, Sega showed momentum that surpassed Nintendo. It wasn't merely technological prowess. The presence of a management team that accurately grasped market needs and made bold decisions also played a significant role. While its rival Nintendo built a solid foundation with a strategy focused on family audiences, Sega cultivated a different customer demographic. As a result, Sega temporarily overtook Nintendo in the North American market, achieving the remarkable feat of becoming the top-selling home console. However, in the shadow of this success, the seeds of collapse had already been sown. The biggest turning point was the internal conflict surrounding next-generation console development. While development of the next-generation console, Sega Saturn, progressed in Japan, Sega of America advocated for the 32X with a different architecture, leading to a split in opinions within the company. Ultimately, the Sega Saturn was released, but its complex design plagued developers, resulting in a shortage of killer titles. Furthermore, Sony's PlayStation entered the market, later than Sega but boasting a simpler design and a powerful third-party strategy. Sega was about to face a formidable opponent. Changes in leadership and independent strategies in overseas markets. The management strategy became increasingly muddled, losing all consistency. Successive hardware launches confused the market, eroding trust from both consumers and developers. Past successes, conversely, clouded their vision for the future. They were trapped in the very web of glory they had spun. But here, a hidden pitfall, unnoticed by all, lay open. A silent, creeping sickness deep within the organization. Within the company, a deep chasm formed between the Japanese development team and the North American sales division, severely hindering information sharing and decision-making. The reckless strategy of simultaneously developing multiple next-generation consoles dispersed development resources, ultimately leaving every machine unfinished. Past successes clouded their perception of new realities. The sunk cost of immense upfront investments also blunted their decision to withdraw. Instead of responding to the immediate crisis, the management deepened internal conflicts, consequently delaying their adaptation to market changes. While competitors launched simple yet powerful strategies, Sega became entangled in its own self-imposed constraints. The entire organization rigidified, unable to embrace change. It is also said that a development-first philosophy, believing that, if we build better it will sell, led them to overlook the importance of market research and marketing. Information was distorted before reaching top management, leading to accumulated misperceptions of the situation. This was a classic trap of groupthink. Even though everyone sensed impending failure, they pushed forward down an irreversible path, driven by organizational inertia and the need to save face. Following the Sega Saturn struggles, Sega launched the Dreamcast as its next move. Yet, here too, a fatal miscalculation was made. Despite innovative features like standard internet connectivity, its market launch was premature. The infrastructure simply couldn't keep up. Immediately after, Sony announced the PlayStation 2. With DVD playback capabilities, powerful specs, and overwhelming brand recognition, it swept the market. Although the Dreamcast fought valiantly, it faced dwindling development funds and an overwhelming disadvantage in the market. Its path to the future was closing. In 2001, Sega announced its withdrawal from the home console business. It was the moment a long history of hardware development came to an end. Sega, once a leader in the gaming industry, was forced to step away from self-developed hardware and transform into a software publisher. Sega's failure clearly demonstrates how clinging to past successes can lead a company to ruin. Markets constantly change, and past glories do not guarantee future relevance. Furthermore, internal conflicts and dysfunctional decision-making hindered rapid strategic shifts. The importance of clear vision and strong leadership is highlighted. Why did Sega's success become the seeds of its failure? Because past successes rigidified the organization, causing it to misread market changes. Who overlooked what? Management misjudged market trends, particularly Sony's entry and their own resource fragmentation. And what are the lessons for today? It is to recognize that innovation always comes from the outside, and to continuously pursue self-reformation. The quality of decision-making in a complex business environment will fundamentally differ between those who understand this failure and those who do not. The history of Sega's console war offers us universal lessons for surviving in turbulent times.